The following scene: slow, tense music, images of locked files, courtroom corridors, blurry footage of intelligence buildings. He was captured, the network was exposed, but victory in espionage is never clean, never complete. What came next wasn't triumph. It was doubt, silence, and the question no one could answer. Had Israel truly uncovered it all? Containment versus exposure. After Colonel X's arrest and partial cooperation, Israel faced a dilemma. Should they go public, expose the infiltration, name names, and send a clear warning to Moscow? Or should they bury the scandal, protect diplomatic ties, avoid political embarrassment, and use the remaining pieces to build a counter-operation? The decision was swift and quiet. This will never reach the headlines. Colonel X disappeared from the public eye. No trial, no leaks. Only whispered references in internal security briefings. Israel wanted silence, and silence it got. But behind that silence, a storm was brewing. Intelligence repercussions. The exposure of a Russian spy inside Israel's defense infrastructure sent shockwaves through the entire intelligence community. All foreign-facing units were audited. Dozens of security clearances were revoked or suspended. Multiple defense projects were halted and rebuilt from scratch. The cybersecurity division went into lockdown for months. New digital hygiene protocols were created. Every access log, every communication, every diplomatic contact scrutinized. One internal Shin document, later leaked, included a chilling line. This was not infiltration. It was embedding. They weren't just inside, they were beneath. International fallout. Word traveled unofficially to the CIA, MI6, and other intelligence allies. There were closed-door briefings. Mutual programs were reassessed. Collaborations were paused. American officials were alarmed by the extent of the breach. Some suggested that U.S. intelligence shared with Israel may have also been compromised. For months, trust wavered. Israel had to rebuild its credibility, not through press conferences, but through results. By mid-2022, new joint task forces were launched to monitor Russian assets across the Middle East and Europe. Colonel X's betrayal had forced everyone to look inward, to question just how far Moscow had reached. The Colonel X, life in the shadows. As for Colonel X, he became a ghost. Officially, he doesn't exist anymore. Some believe he remains in a classified military prison under round-the-clock surveillance. Others suggest he was offered a quiet exile in exchange for deeper cooperation. But the most persistent rumor that Israel used him as a pawn in a larger game to send false intelligence back to Moscow, leading Russian intelligence in circles, feeding them what they wanted to hear, and letting them believe they had won. Let them think they still have a man on the inside, one Shin officer allegedly said. That's more useful than a trial. Psychological fallout, the cost of doubt. Colonel X wasn't the only one under suspicion. His arrest shattered a psychological barrier inside Israeli intelligence. The belief that some people are beyond suspicion. Now no one was untouchable. Internal culture shifted. Loyalty was no longer assumed. It had to be proven. Veterans were re-interviewed. Retired agents brought back for questioning. Even some Mossad operatives abroad were temporarily pulled back. Paranoia became policy. And the long-standing trust that defined the Israeli intelligence community cracked. Was there another? Despite the massive disruption, one question remained, whispered behind secure doors. Was Colonel X acting alone? Some evidence suggested he had a partner, someone higher, deeper, more protected. Encrypted files hinted at another operative embedded in Israeli diplomacy. Surveillance footage showed unconfirmed meetings with a Russian cultural attaché never questioned. Certain defense documents leaked to Russian-aligned hackers after Colonel X's arrest. Was there a second spy? Israel never confirmed. But they never ruled it out either. The hunt never stopped. The spy's legacy. Colonel X didn't just steal files. He changed systems. He disrupted trust. He reshaped how Israel approached espionage in the 21st century. In a single act of betrayal, he forced a national intelligence reformation, a redrawing of the digital battlefield, a reassessment of every ally and adversary. He didn't destroy Israel from within, but he left a scar that would never fully heal. Closing thoughts, the new Cold War. This was not a story of the past, not a tale from the Cold War archives. This happened now, in the age of smartphones, satellites, and AI-driven warfare. The rules have changed. The battlefields are digital, but the game is still the same. Trust no one. Question everything, and never, ever assume you're safe. Final voiceover line for cinematic close. In the end, the greatest danger wasn't the spy who got caught. It was the one who didn't.